Jomo Kenyatta. This name is very important to Kenya. He was like a shining light of hope, a symbol of never giving up. He is known as the father of Kenya's independence. His life was full of challenges, but he was determined, and in the end, he succeeded. To understand Kenyatta's life is to understand Kenya's story. He saw the bad times of being ruled by another country, the fight for freedom, and the start of a new Kenya. His life shows how much people wanted to be free. Kenyatta did many things for Kenya. He was a leader who inspired many people. But his time as a leader wasn't always easy. Still, no one can deny that he shaped Kenya's identity. His story teaches us that one person can truly change a nation's future. Even as a young boy, Jomo Kenyatta loved to learn. He was born with the name Kamau wa Ngengi, and he was from the Kikuyu community. He grew up learning the traditions of his people. He went to a mission school, where he learned about Western education. This made him want to learn even more, and he started to see how unfair the colonial rulers were to his people. Kenyatta wanted to learn more, so he traveled to different countries. He learned about different cultures and talked to many people about important ideas. This made him understand the world better and made him want to fight even harder for the rights of his people. When Jomo Kenyatta came back to Kenya, he became a strong voice for the people who couldn't speak up for themselves. His return marked a significant turning point in the struggle for freedom and justice in Kenya. He saw how much they were suffering under colonial rule. The oppressive system had left many Kenyans in a state of despair and hopelessness. He saw their land taken away, their dignity disrespected, and their rights ignored. The colonial powers were relentless in their exploitation and subjugation of the Kenyan people. Kenyatta knew that just talking wouldn't be enough. It was time to take action. He began to organize and mobilize the people, understanding that unity was their greatest strength. He joined the movement for Kenya's independence and spoke out against the unfair rules of the colonial government. His speeches ignited a spark of resistance and hope among the masses. He encouraged his fellow Kenyans to demand their rightful place in their own country. He urged them to stand up and fight for their rights, to reclaim their land and their dignity. People were drawn to his energy and the way he spoke. His charisma and conviction made him a natural leader, someone people could rally behind. He clearly explained the problems they faced and spoke with great passion. His words resonated deeply with the people, giving them a sense of purpose and direction. He became a symbol of hope, a light in the darkness of oppression. His unwavering commitment to the cause inspired many to believe that change was possible. Kenyatta truly believed that what they were fighting for was right, and this made him even more determined. His resolve was unshakable, and his determination was contagious. He inspired a whole generation of Kenyans to stand up and fight for their freedom. His legacy lives on as a testament to the power of courage and conviction in the face of adversity. Fighting for freedom meant making sacrifices. Jomo Kenyatta and many other freedom fighters faced the cruelty of the colonial rulers. The Mau Mau uprising, a very important event in Kenya's fight for freedom, led to Kenyatta being put in prison. He was wrongly accused of being the leader of the uprising and spent many years locked away. But even in prison, his spirit didn't break. In fact, being in prison made people see him as even more of a symbol of resistance. The world watched as the man who dared to challenge the powerful British Empire stood strong. Kenyatta's picture, unjustly imprisoned, became a symbol for those fighting for freedom, both in Kenya and around the world. His strength in the face of hardship made him a true icon in the fight for independence. Times were changing. The winds of change were sweeping across the African continent, bringing with them a sense of hope and a desire for freedom. All over Africa, people were fighting for their freedom. From the north to the south, east to west, the spirit of independence was alive and strong. After many years in prison, Jomo Kenyatta, the man who had become a symbol of Kenya's fight for freedom, was finally set free. His release marked a turning point in the history of Kenya. The whole nation celebrated his release. Streets were filled with joyous crowds, singing and dancing, as they welcomed their hero back home. Kenya was about to become independent. The dream of a free Kenya was finally within reach, and the people were ready to embrace it with open arms. Kenyatta, who had been denied his own freedom for so long, was now given the responsibility of leading his nation into a new era. His words inspired hope and unity among the people. He played a very important role in negotiating Kenya's independence from Britain. His diplomatic skills and unwavering determination were crucial in these historic talks. In 1963, Kenya finally broke free from colonial rule. The raising of the Kenyan flag symbolized the birth of a new nation, proud and independent. Jomo Kenyatta, the former prisoner, became the first prime minister of a newly independent Kenya. His leadership was a beacon of hope for the entire nation. Later he became the president. His journey from imprisonment to the highest office in the land was a testament to his resilience and dedication. His journey from being a prisoner to becoming the leader of his nation shows just how much he loved his people and how much he believed in the power of freedom. Kenyatta's legacy continues to inspire generations, reminding us that the fight for freedom and justice is always worth it. When Jomo Kenyatta became president, Kenya went through many big changes. His leadership marked the beginning of a new era for the country. He knew that the country was still hurting from being ruled by another country. The scars of colonialism were deep and widespread. He understood the challenges they faced. The path to healing and rebuilding was not going to be easy. He knew that achieving true independence would be difficult. It required more than just political freedom. It needed social and economic transformation. Kenyatta started big plans to make Kenya a strong nation. He focused on education, healthcare, and improving the economy. These sectors were the backbone of his vision for a prosperous Kenya. He knew that for Kenya to be strong and successful, its people needed to be healthy and educated. Without these foundations, progress would be impossible. He worked hard to unite all the different ethnic groups in Kenya. Unity was essential for national stability and growth. He wanted everyone to see themselves as one nation, a prosperous nation where everyone had the same opportunities. This vision was central to his leadership. However, not everyone agreed with it. His policies and methods were often met with resistance. Some people thought his policies favored certain groups, creating divisions instead of unity, while others didn't like how he dealt with those who disagreed with him. His approach to dissent was controversial. Despite these challenges, Kenyatta is remembered as the founding father of Kenya. His legacy continues to shape the nation to this day.